Hi there, fellow knitters and crocheters. I'm Nancy from Black Sheep Knitting, and it's fall. Well, it isn't technically fall, but we're starting, I think Saturday it's technically fall. Um, so it's the autumnal equinox, is that right? Anyway, it's starting to feel like fall. And so that's a great time to knit. So today, of course, we're going to talk about knitting. So I hope everybody's sort of getting the urge to pick up their needles again if you've been too hot this summer to knit. I certainly understand that. Wanted to talk first today about the Greater Boston Yarn Crawl. If those of you who know about it remember that we always have it in sort of the end of September, beginning of October. And this is kind of the beginning of the fall knitting festivals. I think there's the Vermont one. There's, of course, the Rhinebeck one, which is the huge one with all the activities there. But around here, we do one for a yarn crawl, which is different from a festival, fiber festival. But it's an opportunity to go to several yarn shops, and we have this year, we have 13 yarn shops that are participating in the Boston area. And we have something called, and I'll tell you about the dates and everything. This is a passport. I think we used to charge for them, but we don't anymore. And you get it at any one of the yarn shops that you visit. Your local one, you can pick up a passport, and then as you visit yarn shops, they'll stamp these, and then these passports get thrown in to a I think you can decide which yarn shop you wanted to leave it at. That's not good, very good English. You can decide where you want to leave it, and each yarn shop will have a grand prize, and so they'll choose one. Usually they're chosen at the end of October sometimes, so you have a lot of time to drop this off somewhere. Also, if you're eligible, any passport with 11 to 13 stamps is eligible for the $450 gift card prize. So there's gift cards. 9 to 10 stamps is eligible for the $200 gift certificate, and 7 to 8 stamps is eligible for a $140 gift prize. And I think, yeah, it happens on October 31st. So go visit yarn shops and get your stamps. It starts on the 28th, which is Thursday, and goes through Sunday. So Black Sheep Knitting will be open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 to 6, and Sunday, 11 to 5. So you can come in. We're going to have, we'll have daily prizes. So you can we'll have you fill out a little ticket. We put that in a jar, and at the end of the day, we'll pick one, and we'll have bags filled with goodies, yarn, and all kinds of things. So we'll do that every day, Friday, Saturday, and I believe Sunday, and then there'll be a grand prize basket, for which if you drop your this off, you can qualify for that. We are also going to have a discount, which will be a surprise. You get to reach into a jar after we've tallied your purchases on the register. You can pull out a ticket for a discount. So we're going to do 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, and maybe 150% off, or two. So that'll be a discount you get on your purchase. So that's a special thing. We also are having a BSK Yarns Trunk Show, which is my little dying business. So I will be selling my yarns. Well, the shop is selling them. And I wanted to show you a little preview of some of them. And I think I showed this shawl, which isn't finished and hopefully will be next week, and a pattern written up. But this is a triangular shawl. If you can see, can't see it very well, but it's just a basic 4 rows in one yarn and 4 in another. And then the bottom, so these are the yarns. This is a merino slub, and this is a silken mohair. And the bottom will be a border in the merino slub. So you'll see that at the crawl. But I wanted to show you a couple of combinations I've dyed. So this is one that is the silk mohair and the merino slub. That's one combination. I have another one that this is, somebody said, oh, it's like the ocean. And these are so incredibly soft. The mohair is soft, but the merino slub is just, I think, delicious. And then, for all you wild and crazy people who love color, and this one I love because when you look at the mohair and you kind of pull it apart, colors kind of come out that you didn't even really know were there. It's just, it's amazing stuff. So this is an option, and there'll be a few others there. So that's one thing that I'm going to show. And please put in the comments if there's something I didn't go over. Robin, could you hand me, she's going to hand me some others. And these, I'm going to have other yarns too. I have fingering weights, and I have these, which are silk and Surrey alpaca. And if you want soft, this is what you'll really want, is this. And you can do it doubled or you can do it single. I think single is fine.
What's the weight?
The weight is like,
Is it lace?
I would say it's not lace. I think it ends up being a little heavier than lace, so maybe fingering. But I think it depends on, I should take that back. Depends on the needle that you're using. You can knit it at a fingering weight or at a even a bigger gauge. So there's this one that's kind of variegated, and then there's this hot pink, and this is the definition of hot pink. And then this is a real limey, yellowy green. Anyway, they're wonderfully soft. You can knit them with other things. You can knit them with the merino slub, all kinds of options. And I think in the Rhinebeck sweater that Andrea Mowry's, which we talked about last time, I think the tessellated, I think they use a Surrey alpaca as one of the yarns, that or mohair. So you could use them in that, and I'll have a bunch of sport weights that you could also use. I wanted to show you some samples that we had made. This is, if you've got a little baby or a little kid to make something for, this I think is adorable. And look at, there's a little thing on the back. And I did it we did it in a yarn called Bo Peep, which is from West Yorkshire Spinners, which we really like. And this is a Falkland wool with nylon, and Falkland wools are very soft. So these are some of the colors. This one's called Starburst. This is called Cherub, the one we made the sample in. So you can see it stripes, kind of fun. And we have this one is called Tinkerbell, and this one is called Bubbles. So they have, I must say, I don't know that we use 2 full skeins for this. It's 122 yards and a good price point. So this I recommend, a quick baby gift. People will love it because they aren't going to have anything like it. So I have one more sample that we just got into the shop, and this is called, and it's a big, generous wrap that you could just wrap around you and be cozy. It won't itch. It's totally soft. It's delicious. So let's see if I'm doing it justice. Anyway, it is a bias striped shawl that is called And we've done this before in the Zooey, the linen cotton blend from Juniper Moon Fibers. This is what it looks like, and it's called Color Block Bias Wrap. And we did it in a yarn which we've shown you before, a new one, and it's 100%. Robin's showing me. I'm covering the microphone, so maybe you can't hear me. So it's made in baby llama. And if you want soft, light, airy, this is the yarn for you. It is a chainette construction, which, as you know, chainette is wonderful because it's very lightweight, and it's the way it is spun, and it holds warm air in, so it keeps you, it's lightweight, but it's really warm because as you wear it, you get nice and warm from it. So this is a simple, increase on one side, decrease on another side in stripes. You could do it in a solid, if you prefer, and you could do it in a couple of colors. You could do it in a lot of colors if you're adventuresome. So I'm going to show you again some of the colors. And these are, I don't have names, they're just numbers, but they're on the website, right, Robin?
Yes.
Okay, so, here are some lovely color combinations. I think this is a pink and a coral and a gray, and here's a darker gray, so those would be fun. These are greens and blues. These would be lovely. And then we have sort of a primary mix, but of course you can mix them up any way you want. It's just lovely. This is great to wear, and I just love this. So we have a lot of colors. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 colors, so a lot to choose from. And as I said, this is so soft and so lightweight. You're going to want to have this for the fall. So the next thing I want to show you, I talked about last time about an I-cord bind off, and I promised that I would demonstrate it. So I'm going to show you, and I'll give this over to Robin. I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is my cover bun sweater that you've seen me working on in a yarn from Noro called Akari. And they had an ending to this that I wasn't fond of. So I decided, why not do an I-cord bind off? And I was wearing a sweater that the day I decided that had one on it. And I thought that's kind of a nice ending because, and I wanted it to not interfere with what was going on in the neckline. So I had thought about doing ribbing, but I thought it doesn't really go with this because this is kind of, it's not an I-cord exactly, but it has that kind of feel to it. So I wanted something that related, which is something you should think about if you're changing a pattern. Do all the parts go well together, or do they play well together? I think that's pretty important. And I have to tell you a funny thing. I had decided early on not to try to make things match, and these were done separately. So my colors are similar in the stripes, but not really when I was knitting them separately. So then I thought, well, when I get to the sleeves, I think I won't try to make them match. And I didn't, but lo and behold, they did. It was random, completely random, and look, I started in exactly the same place, or almost exactly. And how that happened, I don't know. In any case, I'm not quite finished with this, but I will demonstrate how to do an I-cord bind off, which is already done on this sleeve. So I'm going to get these things out of the way so that you can see. And what I will do is I'm going to begin on the stitches that are about to be knit. And I'm going to do a E-wrap, what I call an E-wrap cast on. And normally you would just want to do this so it's not in the way, so I really should do it over here. So you just can see I'm not good with my left hand. Definitely can't do my left hand, so going back to the right. So I'm going to cast on 3 stitches with just an E-wrap. You could do a cable cast on, that's your choice. And I'm going to knit 2 stitches. And I want to pull a little bit tight in the beginning so I don't have a big gap. And then I'm going to slip one as if to, I think I did it as if to knit, and I'm going to knit one, and then I'm going to slip the slipped stitch over the stitch I just knit, and then I'm going to slide those back onto my needle. So now I'm back onto the left hand needle, and I'm going to knit 2. Slip 1 as if to knit, knit 1, and pass the slipped stitch over. And then I'll slide all 3 back. I go into the back of the stitches to slide them back to the left hand needle from the right. And I'm going to do a few so you can actually see what the I-cord looks like. So knit 2, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slipped stitch over. Again, from the back I slip my stitches this way, and then it's knit 2, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over. And then each time as you're sliding these back to the left needle, what happens is your yarn comes around the back and you start to knit again, and what that does is it draws these 2 pieces closed and gives you your I-cord. So it ends up being, you know, like a little wrapped cord around your at the end of your sleeve or whatever you're doing. I find it very easy to do. It's a nice rhythmic kind of thing. I wanted to point out one thing on my sleeves. This had me decreasing every 19 rows. So I counted 19 rows. I put in a marker where I began, and then on each one, and I've always found this, you can approximate when you are decreasing. So I just measured this distance, then measured it here, and that's where I did my decrease. I didn't have to count the rows. I didn't keep track. I just looked at the distance between them, and that's how I did it. So that's it on the I-cord bind off. I think it's fun. I like the result. You can try it. So I hope that the I-cord bind off video was helpful to you. And I wanted to mention, I thought this would be fun because I know Andrea Mowry does this and on her podcast, and I don't mean to copy her, but it did occur to me that she asks people to, she has a whole video that she does once a week on answering people's knitting questions. And I thought, well, I'm thinking up things that I think are valuable to you, but you may have your own questions. So I would like to propose that you ask questions, put them in the comments, and we'll spend a little time each week picking out 1 or 2 questions that we can answer for you. So if there's something that you don't know how to do, some problem you're having with your knitting, and if it looks like it's something we can easily answer on our podcast, I would love to do that. I think that would be terrific. We had nice responses from people when they talked about yarns. And I was asking, what yarns would you like to see us carry? And we had some good feedback from that. What I decided is we're going to get a yarn from Holst Garn, and we used to have their wool and cotton. I don't think I'll get that, but there was one that was an Aran weight, which is around 4 stitches to the inch, 4.5, 4 stitches. everybody's definition, as you've heard me say before, is different, of Aran, DK, worsted. Um, I, I always make a determination based on the stitches per inch. So I would say it's 4 to 4.5 stitches per inch. So I found a nice one, and I'm going to contact them, hopefully this week, and we'll get them into the shop. So do ask questions. We would love to hear that. And I did want to mention what I'm wearing. I'm pretty sure it's Love Note. I always get confused. Is it Love Note or is it just Love Note? I'm pretty sure. And what we did was I put a fingering weight with a mohair and put them together. It's nice and soft. And finally, I wanted to mention Bruce Weinstein's workshop that is coming up. We are now, you can call and register, or will we have it online, Robin?
Is it a full day with breakdowns of morning and afternoon?
Yes.
Then probably you have to call. But
I think you have
I'll
to
double
call
check.
because you can sign up for all day or just a half a day, the morning or the afternoon. He will be doing reversible cables, so you're going to learn a lot about cabling, and then some embroidery stitches. We'll put up a description in this email, so you'll be able to look at that and look at the price and when it's happening. Those of you who haven't done a Bruce workshop, people have an awful lot of fun.
Lunch.
He's great, and he has written 35 cookbooks, he and his husband, and he cooks lunch for everyone. He does vegan, so as to be having a vegan available for those who are vegan. They're delicious. He does 3 big, huge salads, and they're just amazing. And we love it because there's always leftovers, and he has us take them home. So I enjoyed them for a couple days afterwards. The last workshop that he did. So if you haven't done it, or if you have done it and are a devotee of Bruce, you'll need to sign up quickly. The spots fill up pretty fast, so I would get right on it. We love him. He is entertaining, he's charming, and he's just an all-around lovely, brilliant guy. So you will enjoy whether you do half a day or a whole day. Most people try to do the whole day because you get the lunch and you get a nice break in between, and you get to know him a little better, which is really a delight. So I hope you have a great week of knitting. Don't forget the yarn crawl. It's always a busy, fun time for us. We love it. And go around and see what else is going on in other yarn shops. You don't have to travel too far. I don't know the farthest one away, but it's all probably within a half an hour's drive. Craftworks, I think it's about a half an hour out to Northborough. It's not a bad drive. And she has a lovely, they're all great shops. There's another one here in Needham, Creative Warehouse, so you'll enjoy going over there. That you can do pretty quickly from here. So enjoy, and I'll see you probably in 2 weeks. I don't know if we're going to publish next week or video. We'll see how our time goes. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. That helps us. Thanks. Bye.